Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, Me in the Mountains. If this is your first time here, my name is Janis, and welcome to my channel. Subscribe if you like to get these messages. I'm out here in the mountains. I live deep in the heart of the Rocky Mountains. I actually got out a little late this evening to make this video, so the sun's already down, but it's still really pretty. But when the sun goes down here in the mountains, it gets cold fast, so I might start shivering. Anyway, today I have a great subject I want to talk about, and it's going to be groundbreaking. Does peanut butter really need jelly? Leave in the comments what you think. All right, so what am I talking about? I think what I'm talking about is really, is the whole better than the half? And so you think of peanut butter, you think of jelly. You know, would you eat a peanut butter sandwich? Would you eat a jelly sandwich? Would you eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right? So that somehow when things come together, you know, they kind of, the two parts make something even more exciting. So it's kind of about my way of talking about life matches. And so I'm going to tell you 6 of my life matches that have made me peanut butter and jelly. One would be me and nature. Here I am in nature, and I got to tell you, it's just a reset button for me all the time, and it comes in different forms. When I'm here in the mountains, one of the things that really stands out is, you know, you'll be here day after day, and when you have to go into town, or if you do, which is quite the ordeal because we're up a forest road where it's very hard to get down, but you're not used to so many distractions and noises, and you're used to peace and quiet. And if anything, you start to pay more attention to the animals and the rhythms of the sun and the moon. And so nature has been a match for me in my life. That's number one. That you know, I think I discovered ever since I was very young. It used to be more the ocean, because when I was younger, I was very much in or nearby the ocean, and which I still love. And I lived in Maine for a long time, as a lot of you know, and so the ocean's awesome too. So there's many ways that you plug into nature, but this is the mountains. And yeah, so maybe that's for you too. Leave in the comments if nature is one of the things that is sort of those life matches. Okay, another one is Elizabeth. You know, my wife Elizabeth. You know, having someone to go through life with and share things, and also someone to, you know, listen to your ideas and give advice. And, you know, just if you have a person in your life that can, you know, be there to give you a thought or to listen to your thoughts, I think that makes peanut butter and jelly. So we're really blessed. We do a lot of most of our artistic projects together. We made a movie called Buttons: A Christmas Tale. If you haven't seen that, it came out on Paramount, which was amazing. But that, you know, was just her and I brainstorming and thinking. We wrote the script together, and you know, she produced the movie and I directed. And so, you know, it took both of us to do that, make that creative vision. So that's definitely number 2, and that's peanut butter and jelly once again. And number three is me and my music. When I was younger, very young, you know, still back in, you know, grade school, I knew that I wanted to do music, and I didn't know how to play anything or do anything. I was not a prodigy or anything special in my performance wise. I didn't do band in high school or anything like that. But I had these sort of emotions that were very strong, and I had a passion. When I heard music, I had a passion just to be a part of it in any way I could. And ever since I started, it's really just been that passion. I actually, you know, I was doing all types of music when I started, but my brother lent me some money to make my first CD, which was Along the Shore of Acadia. And I sold a few copies at a craft show, and then I played more craft shows and more malls, and I kept gigging and performing, and it kind of just grew. But, you know, that that's definitely peanut butter and jelly. Just me and music. That's been a real blessing, for me. Oh, talking about peanut butter and jelly. How about my fourth thing, which is food? um, Eating is a big part of our lives, and I think finding those things and that balance of what you can eat and what sustains you the best, so makes life better. So I realized, I can't eat garlic, or I can very easily, when I was younger, I got acid reflux. And I remember I was on tour and I was in Washington State and ended up in the emergency room because I didn't know what was happening. I was young and I just thought, wow, something's going crazy in me. And that's when I first realized about acid reflux. And so since then, I eat a lot of apples and cooling food and grains and things like that. But food is, energy, and it, makes you happy, and you're just finding that balance. So that also makes you stronger. So another peanut butter and jelly moment is exercise. After I finish this video, I'm going to go for a run, before it gets too dark. It's kind of like a wobble because I'm going up and down the hills in my boots. But, that's another thing that's made, my life fuller, and it's definitely peanut butter and jelly. So that's number 5, exercise. And that can be anything. I remember once I traveled to Kenya. We were working with Church World Service to, do work with the kids there, and I was in my room, and I really couldn't go out. This is Nairobi, and that wouldn't really be safe, so I just ran around in my room. But wherever you are, however things are going, you just have to try to reinvent what you can do to exercise. And here it's so inspiring because I can go out in nature and exercise and have this total peace because I'm by myself, and it's beautiful, and listen to music. And the last thing, number 6, peanut butter and jelly here with life are your pets. And some of you might have big families and other things that are that. My experience is, you probably hear me talk about Reno and Ruru and Bella. And I remember before I met Elizabeth, I had a goldfish. I had called Wiggles, and he lived many years, and I'd walk in and he would follow me around the tank. But for a lot of years I was traveling, and so I couldn't have any pets or anything because I'd be gone driving, touring. I had a RV. So actually where I got Reno, which was a cat, and Reno's a cat that I have, I was on tour for public television, and I stopped in Reno, Nevada. And I think it was the first time I had a sort of permanent place. It wasn't actually mine, I was just renting. And I said, well, I think I can have a cat now. So I stopped in Reno. I went to the shelter. I walked in. I didn't look at any cats. I said, give me your nicest cat. And they gave me Reno. And I guess Reno's brother had just been adopted, so they were excited that he could go with me. And so I put Reno in the RV, and I left. I had to go work up in Montana. And Reno was hiding because he was kind of scared in the bus, but I still remember this. I left Montana. I was driving somewhere through Wyoming, and he walks up. Meow, meow. He was like, I'm tired of hiding. And from that point on, he came out and enjoyed the ride back home to Maine, because I lived in Maine at that time. So those are my 6 things. My peanut butter and jelly, the sum of the parts, making the whole better. That is my message. I hope you find something in that that's helpful to you. If you have anything you want to leave in the comments, I read all the comments, and I love to get back to you, and I love to just share ideas here. So leave in the comments if you have any thoughts about your peanut butter and jelly. And I love you guys. Peace.